Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey and today this is the beautiful multi-strand necklace that I will be making. And most of the components for this necklace came from Sam's bead box from the month of January 2023. So if you would like to see how this necklace came about, then stay tuned. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the tools that I will be using. I have 2 sets of chain nose pliers, 1 set of cutters, 1 set of round nose pliers, and 1 set of crimping pliers. And I want to briefly mention my tool set. It is called the Casual Comfort tool set. And just as the name suggests, it is very, very comfortable to use. The biggest thing for me with these tools is that they have adult size grips. A lot of times in the store, for whatever reason, the tools will be made much smaller and they certainly function. But ever since I found these tools, I just can't imagine using anything else. So I will have these tools linked down below along with everything else that I use in the video that did not come from the bead box. I will also be using 49 strand bead along wire in the color Bright, and that is the silver color. And you'll notice that I have a lot of red copper findings and metal, but once everything is put together, you won't even be able to tell that the wire is silver. And I always get the 100 feet just because I go through it so quickly. I have already cut myself a length of wire and it is just over 12 inches. I will link down below the Sam's bead box opening video that I did, and it will detail every single thing that I use in this video that came in Sam's bead box, like these beautiful focal beads that I will be using. From my own stash, I will be using these 4mm pearls, and I will be using these flower bead caps, and I will be using these beautiful connectors that I got from Budget Beads. I will have the link for these down below as well. And all of the findings I am using from my own stash. And this chain that I will be using, I have 2 lengths of chain. Each length is right at 5 inches. And this is the chain right here. I will have this chain linked down below. It is absolutely beautiful. I love this chain. And the way this comes, it comes in 5 different finishes, which I absolutely love that. So this will be linked down below. So I already have in mind a multi-strand necklace. So we'll get started on one of the strands. So here is how I start each strand. I put on a jump ring, a crimp tube, and then I get a wire guardian. Put it through one side, wrap it around, and put it through the other. Then you want to make sure your jump ring goes up inside that guardian wire, and then both ends of that wire go through the crimp tube, just like that. I'm going to pull on the longer side just so that tail isn't quite so long. And now I want to separate that wire, and I know these pieces are kind of small, but you can see it there. I don't want it to be crossed over under that crimp tube. So I'm going to pull down here, and then I'm going to go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot and then give it a good smash. And get that taco shape, turn it on its side, go into that first divot, give it another smash, and that gets it okay. But I like to go in with that flat part at the end of the crimping pliers and give it a final smash. And that gets it pretty secure. So now I'm going to hold it by that jump ring and put that crimp cover right on top of that smashed crimp tube. Just like that. And then flip it up. I'm going to go in with my chain nose pliers and give it a gentle smash and then go back to front. So I give it that round shape. Just like that. And it gives the illusion of the first bead. So now it's just the order of the beads. So I'm going to use these 4mm round beads, bead cap facing up, gemstone bead, bead cap facing down, and then I'm going to go down to the other end and make sure that tail is tucked in, just like this. So we're going to add one more just like this. All right. So here is the simple back and forth pattern. So we're going to do this all the way across and then we will meet back up. All right, so here is the full strand. It is now completely beaded and now we just need to close it off. I'm going to put on a jump ring, crimp tube, and guardian wire. Put it through one side, wrap it around, put it through the other. Again, you want to make sure that jump ring is up in the wire guardian and your crimp tube has both sides of the wire through it. I'm going to pinch that wire guardian closed with my fingers and then pull it decently snug. So here's where you want to have that balance because you definitely want flexibility in your strand, but you want it to be pretty snug. So I'm going to take my crimping pliers, go into that second divot and give it a good smash. Get that taco shape, turn it on its side, go into that first divot, give it another good smash. And again, that gets it pretty good, but I'm going to go in with that flat part on the end, give it that final smash. That gets it really snug. And now I'm going to get my cutters, go in on that tail, get as close as I can, and I'm going to take that crimp cover, put it right on top of that smash crimp tube, and flip it up, go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a gentle smash, and then go back to front on that crimp cover, give it that round shape. So there is the final strand and you have it started off and closed off. So this is actually the longer strand in the necklace and I already have the shorter strand made. It is made with the exact same technique. So we have it started off the same way and closed off the same way. And it's a simple back and forth. These are the 4mm pearls from my own stash. And of course, these beautiful pressed flower beads that came in the Sam's Bead box. And I love that gold in the groove and just a very simple back and forth. So this is going to be the shorter strand in the necklace. And I get asked a lot how I determine the length of my strands in multi-strand necklaces. So very simply, I usually go each strand an inch longer. So here is my longer strand. It's right at 8 inches. And there is my shorter strand. It's about 6 3/4 inches. So my good rule of thumb is approximately an inch. And if it's just a little more than that, that usually works out pretty well. So now I'm going to create the dangles that are going to come off of this longer strand. So I'm going to use these larger beads that came in there. And I have a flathead pin. I have a 4mm pearl at the bottom, large square bead, 4mm round, very simple. I will show you how I create a loop. I go in with my round nose pliers just above that top bead and bend it back with my fingers, go in with my cutters, and I want to hold on to that tail or it will go flying. You see it there? I'm going to go back in with my round nose pliers and close the loop. Just like that. So I'm going to create 4 more of these with the other beads that came in the bead box. Here we go. Meet right back up. And these are the 5 total that I have. And you can see the other ones that came in this pattern are the 5-point ones. But as you can see, it's made the exact same way. So I'm going to have them hanging off just like that. So I'm going to take my 8mm jump ring, connect it to the component, and then we'll connect it right there in the center, right around that center, and close the jump ring, just like that. So now there's the center one, and we're going to do the same thing with the other 2, having 2 going on either side. We'll meet back up. All right, there we go. They are all connected. So pretty. Okay, so now we're going to connect all the parts together. So these connectors are going to be here at the side. These are the ones that they're both going to connect to, and then the other side's going to connect to the chain. So we'll connect one side here, and we'll use the jump rings that are already on it. Open. And on here, we're going to connect it to the center one on the right side, right there, and close the jump ring. And then we'll get the shorter strand, open, and connect it to the center one on the other side, just like that, and close that jump ring. So there we go. All right, so now we're going to connect the other side and we'll meet back up. All right, here we go. Beautiful. Oh, I'm super happy with how this is turning out. All right, so now we are going to add the chain on either side. And we have these 3mm jump rings. Open it. And then we're going to put the last link of the chain on the jump ring, just like that. And then we're going to connect it to the top center loop of the top. Close that jump ring, just like that. And then do the same thing to the other side. All right. And now the clasp. 3mm jump ring, open it, opposite last link, just like that. And then put on the lobster clasp, close that jump ring, grab the last jump ring, a 5mm jump ring, open it, opposite last link, just like that, and close. All right, so here is the final piece, so I'll set it up on my display so we can see it better. All right, so here it is, and I am super happy with how this one came out. I absolutely love those gemstone beads. I love that those large beads and the longer strand, and then the pendant beads across the bottom, those are just so pretty. And it just goes so well with those pressed flowers. I think everything just tied together really, really nicely. I am super happy with this one. And of course, those swirl connectors on either side just really, really tie it together. I'm super happy. So if you like this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. I absolutely love reading my comments. You guys are so, so kind. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.